Okay, everyone. I'm here for the, I believe it is, 4th video in the, what I'm calling the WWE2K16 confirmation list. This is basically my thoughts on the newest roster members for WWE2K16, of which we're at 5 reveals. The last one will be this next Monday, so then I'll do my full roster thoughts. So, this video I'm going to focus on the 22 new people, because while 23 were mentioned in the article, one was already confirmed via a video a couple weeks ago, and that was Jake the Snake Roberts. So, first up on the list, we had Billy Gunn in his one Billy Gunn attire. Well, since this focuses on Austin the Attitude Era, why not have Billy Gunn in? I'm not gonna... Without Road Dogg, I don't know what you could really do with Billy Gunn without the Road Dogg, because he was never any good by himself. Too much. So, okay. So, then we get one of the big reveals that this week gave us, as Bret the Hitman Hart will be in 2K16. Well, this obviously confirms that one of that Austin's 2K Showcase matches, I'm going to guess 2 of them are his match from Survivor Series 96 with Bret Hart and WrestleMania 7. Personally, I prefer to just WrestleMania 13. Excuse me. I would personally just go with the fact of Survivor Series 96 because we played the WrestleMania 13 match, I believe, in both WWE13 and 2K14. I believe, because they were in both those modes, I believe that match was. Well, it wasn't in WWE13, but it was in 2K14, so we have played it before. But they can do it properly now with the referee of that match, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So yeah, Bret Hart, no real problems there. Next up is the British Bulldog. Here's another big name. The British Bulldog, who has had a 2-game absence since last being seen in the WWE game, was WWE 13 when the Attitude Era mode. Now, he never had a singles feud with Austin, so I don't know how he works for the showcase. I'm imagining that not every showcase match in this showcase is going to focus on Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's probably going to focus on a lot of him, plus also some memorable Attitude Era things, because... But I'll get to that. So then we get Cactus Jack, one of the 3 faces of Foley. Well, Cactus Jack was always an interesting thing, but again, has no history of Stone Cold, so that's why I think the Attitude Era is also a part of the showcase, is because Cactus Jack himself has no real history of Steve Austin. So then we had another surprise to me, D'Lo Brown in his Nation of Domination attire. I guess D'Lo Brown left TNA, and I guess he wants to pay some kind of a royalty check. I don't know if he's under a license contract with WWE or not. So I guess we can hand out more lowdowns and bill him from everywhere in Europe when he wins the European Championship and Universe and whatnot. Unique thing. And again, I don't know how he's going to play into the showcase. So then we had Dude Love. Yes, the Dude Love, you know, Dude Love. Again, now we're revisiting a match from WWE13 again, and that is the Unforgiven 98 match with Stone Cold and Dude Love. And I kind of knew this was going to happen. And by the way, that means that we do not get unique characters, and that'll be revealed later too. Because you could technically argue that that Cactus Jack and Dude Love are essentially a copy of one guy. But I will say that at least the 3 faces of Foley are unique characters in their own right. Okay, for Dude Love, like Mick Foley, he's my least favorite Mankind Mick Foley incarnation or character. So, but he does have more history with Austin than Cactus Jack does. So then we had Faarooq, who's also in his Nation of Domination attire. The Nation of Domination never did anything with Stone Cold Steve Austin, so I don't really know how this works either for Showcase. Again, good to have Faarooq in a game. Always good to see Ron Simmons. Before he became a one-word catchphrase for the WWE to market. No problem with Faarooq. So then we had Haku. Wow, you want to talk about random inclusions? Haku. Yes, Haku was around in 2001 when Austin was around, but he didn't do anything. That brief 2001 run he had in 2001, all he really did was team with Rikishi. And that went nowhere. So, it's nice to see Haku in a game. Always been a fan of Haku. This is actually, depending on your viewpoint, he is in WWE Raw for the original Xbox. So this is technically his second WWE game, but it's his first that's more mainstream. But it's technically his second WWE game. So, just a random inclusion. So then we get the Honky Tonk Man, or Santino Marella like to call him, the Honky Tonk Man. Again, more DLC from 2K15 that's now in this game. Okay, we are just left now with the Ascension as DLC from last year's non-clone DLC that are not confirmed for this game. And the Ascension, well, they should be called the Descension right now because the Ascension all they've ascended to is complete and utter irrelevancy. The Honky Tonk Man's an interesting character now. Again, I don't know how he works in the Stone Cold Showcase. So I guess he's just a regular legend. I guess. Except he is in the 2001 Royal Rumble, which was won by Austin, but he wasn't there when Austin was about to win. So I don't know what point he serves. Always fun. I just don't know. Yeah. So then we got Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So that puts the original Hart Foundation in the game. Jim Neidhart has not been in a WWE game of any kind that I know of since SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 for the PlayStation 2. So it's nice to see the Anvil in the game because you can hypothetically do 6-man tag matches with him, the Italian Tyson Kid. Him teaming with his daughter and son-in-law then. Again, we now have 3 members of the 597 Hart Foundation in the game. So, I have a theory about something that I might let you in on at the end of the video. So next up, Kama Mustafa, or the Godfather, because this was his role before the Godfather, and he's also in his Nation of Domination attire. So that means, counting The Rock, all 4 members of the 1998 Nation of Domination are now in the game, officially. The only one that's not is Mark Henry from that time frame. Well, officially anyway. Let's face it, Kama Mustafa got more over as the Godfather, and that's really what he should be. But always, you know, it's nice that he made another game, because again, he's on a 2-game absence. So, last seen in WWE 13. So, then we have Ken Shamrock. Wow, there's a surprise. Ken Shamrock. See, now you can have one of his costumes be that referee outfit he had on WrestleMania 13 if you're going to do the whole Austin and Hart match again from WrestleMania 13. Now you got the actual referee for it, which 2K14 did not have. So, Shamrock, I hope they animate a new ankle lock for him, because the one that they gave him in WWE13 is not the ankle lock he used. He had a very different kind of ankle lock and a very differing belly-to-belly suplex. So, I hope that they animate those moves for him. So, then we had Mankind. So yes, all three faces of Foley are here. So, that means you can do the three faces of Foley triple threat match, or you could do the time that Mick Foley competed 3 times in the Royal Rumble, which he actually did as all 3 gimmicks in 1998. I'm guessing this means that one of the showcase matches will be Mankind and Austin from Survivor Series 1998. That's a guess, but I'm inclined to think that. So then we had Paul White, or Old School Big Show. Okay, 2K. You promised that we would have 120 unique characters, and now you throw a clone at us. Well, I will say at least it's not as bad as in recent years. Heck, counting DLC last year, there were 4 Randy Ortons. So, at least there's only technically 2 people that have a clone in this game. And like I said, you could argue that the 3 faces of Foley are clones because they at least are unique characters in their own rights that had their own mannerisms and stuff like that. So you could at least argue that they are not clones. Paul White and the Big Show should have just been a secondary attire for the Big Show, instead of just being an actual character again. But what are you going to do? It probably means that that match he had with Austin on Raw is going to be in the game as a 2K showcase. So then we had Rikishi. While that confirms that his brief feud of Austin's probably in the game, Rikishi without Too Cool, though, I don't think can work. That's the problem. When WWE turned him heel, that killed Rikishi's character, was him being heel in 2000. Yeah, he got to work with Austin, he got to work with The Rock and some big, huge names, but he never regained any momentum he had when he was a face. So, essentially, since this is probably going to be heel Rikishi, it's different than face Rikishi. Still a good inclusion, but... So then we get Shane McMahon. Wow, Shane O'Mac's back in the game. So I guess this means him and Vince versus Austin in a ladder match from King of the Ring 1999 will be in the game, which is at least a unique match that has never been in any of these historical match mode things. So that is at least a different match for the 2K showcase that we've not already done. And Shane McMahon was always the best overall worker of the McMahons anyway, so then we had Shawn Michaels. Well, that shouldn't have been a surprise. WrestleMania 14 is probably going to be represented in this, because, yeah, it's probably going to be represented in this, because it was a big part of Austin's career. So, hypothetically, Mike Tyson could return again for all intents and purposes. Who knows? So, yeah. Then we also had confirmed Vader returning for a WWE game. First WWE game since WWE 13. I'm always a fan of Vader. I think he was very underrated as a big man worker. I think he was a very good big man worker. But the WWE just ruined him when he went there in '96. And a lot of that had to do with Shawn Michaels, as long as I am 96, but I mentioned all that in the SummerSlam 96 review I did. So it's good to have Vader back. Could be Vader time for a lot of people. So then we had Vince McMahon or Mr. McMahon, however you really want to say. Again, it confirms something that he did with Austin to be in the game, whether it be the 99 Royal Rumble St. Valentine's Day Massacre or that ladder match from him and Shane versus Austin. They're all probably going to be in the 2K showcase. So, again, you're going back to possibly reusing matches here. And then the final one that was revealed was X-Pac. So the X-Pac isn't a surprise. He hasn't technically been in games since 2K14 when he was DLC as 6. X-Pac is a unique character. He can fit in with a lot of stuff. So yeah, I have no problem with that. This is probably one of the better reveals if you're an old school wrestling fan, because it's got a lot of old school guys in it, mixed with Attitude Era guys. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Damien Sandow, too, was revealed in his Mizdow attire. And Sandow was really the only modern person revealed this week. So, that takes us, not counting the Terminators, by the way, this takes us to 100 wrestlers. With only about 20 more to go, and those will be revealed on Monday. And I think 7 of them are pretty, you can figure them out. It would be Bray Wyatt, the Usos, all 3 members of New Day, and Mark Henry. I think those 7 are definite to be confirmed next week. If the Ascension make the game, they'll be, I would say they'd be numbered, say, to 9. And due to Billy Gunn and X-Pac, I think Road Dogg will probably be another one. So, those are 10 that I'm sure about. Now, as far as the other ones, given where we're going with the Hart Foundation of 97, I think it's possible you definitely get Brian Pillman in the game. And while it's a long shot, Owen Hart could be in the game. Because if you want my opinion and my opinion only, SummerSlam 97 needs to be a match in the Stone Cold showcase of his match against Owen Hart. Now, I'm very aware that Marva Hart can stand in the way of that, but she could always work a deal of 2K to where Owen Hart gets in the game, but WWE doesn't make any money. Because the deal would be with 2K only and not WWE. It would be with 2K kind of thing. Kind of like how the Warrior did it in WWE 2K14. When how Warrior worked a deal with 2K first. Kind of like that. Still a long shot. I think if there's any more divas announced, it'll probably be a combination of Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks. If not all 3 of them. Or they all 3 might miss. Who knows? We will find out on Monday. I think in some capacity, James A. Security get in. But again, I'm not going to guarantee they're playable or not. I'm safe of at least the first 7 people I mentioned for next week. Bray Wyatt, the Usos, all 3 members of New Day, and Mark Henry. So, I'm calling about those 7 because they were all in 2K15, and have not been confirmed yet. And I don't see any reason why none of them would be taken out, because that would just be stupid. So, this will be in the 2K16 confirmation list, and next week will be my thoughts on the overall roster, where I will go through every member of the roster individually and give you my thoughts on it. That kind of video is the very first video I did here on YouTube, nearly 2 years ago. So, I look forward to being able to do one of those again. Maybe it can be as good as my roster thoughts of 2K14 was. So, if you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.